Hey, there's our sound back. Our sound is now back. I can see it on the meter. So for those of you watching this, and I don't know, the YouTube video is going to suck because like people are going to go back and watch the replay, and the first 10 minutes and 57 seconds is not going to have any sound. But John Kraft, please let us know if you can hear us now. I guess I could cheat and just do this. We'll just go the old-fashioned way. We'll go to here. I'll just unmute Microsoft Edge.
Yeah, I just verified sound is definitely coming over.
Okay, cool. Yep, there it is. So all the person watching on YouTube didn't enjoy the. Should we, for the sake of this conversation, replay?
No.
The double pineapple.
Save it for the end. The outro. It will be a great outro today.
Okay, but anyhow, I just got off the water with the kayak, and so anyhow, we've been looking for after rewind 2 weeks. I've had that kayak for a while. We're going around fishing, and then. We went out and rented one. We went down the Estero River last weekend and had a good time.
Got the old bowling shoe equivalent of a kayak.
Yeah, it was a sit-in, used, had horrible seats. Their butt hurts halfway through the day. And so we decided if we were going to buy a tandem kayak, it would need to have quality seats, much like the seat in my Lifetime kayak, which basically you can remove and it doubles as a beach chair.
Now, as a business, one would think that in order to generate more revenue, you would want to have the most comfortable seats possible in your rentals. So people don't kayak and they're like, that's too much of a pain in the ass, literally.
Yeah, but when you're renting kayaks and or canoes to the general public who probably are only going to use them once or twice before they go out and invest in their own, they're going to get beat up. They're going to get flipped over. And these chairs, they're with the material on them, a lot of these kayak joints, their kayaks sit outside 24 hours a day. So all that material would break down, dry rot. And so they basically just rent the ones that have the plastic seats. And we had a good time. We went down the Estero River and it was a good time. But, Carrie said her butt hurt. And so we looked on Facebook Marketplace. We looked on Craigslist. We called around to the kayak rental places, and none of them really had any used tandems for sale with quality seats. And so we found a couple places, and I went over to Matt Lachey, and we got a brand new one. Thing's 12 foot long. With the chairs on it, it seats two. You pull the chairs off, it actually has 3 molded seats on there, so you can have 2 adults and a child in the middle. Already has built-in dry storage. It has 4 spots for fishing poles. The only thing it doesn't have, which I'll include in the review video, which I don't know why, it's made by Hunk Sand or Hunk Sand, something like that. They make high-end paddle boards. Even though they have 4 spots for fishing poles, they have dry or wet storage, depending on how you want to utilize it. The nice benefit about my quote-unquote cheap Lifetime kayak is on the left-hand side, you can take the paddle, put it on the edge, and there's a rubber band or a piece of elastic you flip over it and hook it on so that the paddle is hooked onto the side of the kayak while you're fishing. That way you're not fumbling with it. For some reason, this 12-foot high-end fishing kayak does not have that. So when you're fishing, you basically got to put your paddles on the inside. It takes up space, but I'm going to go on Amazon and order basically the hooks and make my own so I can fasten them on the side. Other than that, well, up until yesterday, I had no complaints. So we went out, we bought it on Friday, and of course it rained all Friday night, so we couldn't use it. Got up early, went out Saturday morning. Carrie caught her first bass. I caught 2. Carrie and Nugget were on the tandem. I took out the single person. We did that for a couple hours, went back out at night. Carrie and I went out on the tandem. I think we caught maybe 1 more fish. And then Sunday, we decided, let's just wait until nighttime. We're already sunburnt. So she and I load up Big John. We go down there, put the fishing poles in the back holders behind the seat, much like the holders on the Lifestyle, which come to find out the holes for the fishing rod on the Lifestyle are about 6 to 8 inches back off of the back seat. Where on the new one are about 4 inches off the back seat. And we're all pretty tired, and so Carrie and I are paddling out. We probably paddled about 15 minutes, get to our fishing spot, drop the anchor, turn around. Where's my fishing pole? Carrie's like, oh, what?
Deep.
Yeah, where? Well, actually, it was her fishing pole. Where's her fishing pole? She had mine up front.
Sucks to be you.
Apparently, well, back to the story of back to the saying of no good deed goes unpunished. When we got to the boat ramp and we put in the kayak, some boater decided to leave. Speaking of pineapples, for those who didn't hear the first 10 minutes of the show because the audio wasn't working, you'll hear it at the end. But speaking of pineapples, Gordon, somebody left 2 plastic grocery bags full of pineapples and like mangoes right on the water's edge. And they're fermenting. And I did a TikTok about how people suck because one of the things we've noticed since we started kayaking in canals is all the pollution. Matter of fact, Carrie Nugget caught her first T-shirt tonight, and Carrie caught a trash bag tonight. We were hoping it was going to be Nugget's first fish, but it was a T-shirt. As we've talked about before, I see pool rafts and fucking lawn chairs, everything in the canal. So anyhow, I was doing a story about how people suck. They can't bother to put their trash away. How last time I was out here, I cleaned 4 beer bottles, went and put it in the trash. So since no good deed goes unpunished, after I explained to the world how people suck and I'm pulling things into the canal, what do? I just drop a fucking whole fishing pole into the canal, never to be seen again. So
You haven't started magnet fishing yet.
Well, we went like a half a mile, so I don't know where it fell out at. Good news is it was my Ozark Trail fishing pole combo, so I was only out $37 instead of being out like $150 on a higher end stuff. I did go on Amazon today, and for $12 I got 6 new fishing pole kayak leashes, so that if they were to fall in the water next time, they'll be on a leash. So that's fun.
Well, speaking of amateur hour, I too had an amateur hour moment on Friday. So we took Oliver down to Lake Mead to the beach for his first time.
Martin says, well, there was closed captioning when I was putting the infants to bed. So apparently the closed caption, I don't know how the closed captioning would have been working on the audio, but anyhow, as you're putting, you had amateur hour with Oliver?
Well, amateur hour on my end. So we went and bought one of these Ozark Trails, since we're plugging the shit out of them, pop-up canopies for like $40. They're nice. They're huge. They're like a 12 by 12.
Hey, don't sleep on
Little
Ozark
awning.
Trail. They're so good they rip off other people's patents and then get away with it in court.
Just because they're owned by Walmart, probably.
Yes.
But so we get down there, and that's nice. I get to pull the truck. Where to go with dogs, it has to be the special events beach, so you get back your vehicle right up to the water.
Now, for those of you all playing at home, when he says pop-up canopy, think of the things that the parents are sitting on underneath on the edge of the soccer field and
The
or
shade.
football field during cheerleading practice when they're watching their 8-year-olds out there playing.
Yep. Little gazebo, whatever you want to call it. But so we get down there, and I unpack this thing, and it's a little windy. It's like, okay. Well, unfortunately, it is called Boulder Beach, and it's
Did it live
Lake
up to
Mead,
its name?
so it lived up to its name. The water has dropped quite a bit more.
How far is
unfortunately.
Boulder Beach from becoming Broken Ankle Beach?
I think it's probably always been Broken Ankle Beach. But so we backed down, and I found one little smooth area to set this thing up so we could set our lawn chairs down and everything. And we got it in, got it anchored to the ground with some pins. And started playing with Oliver and got him into the water. It was good. I had to kind of force him in, but I think he's going to end up liking it. He got back, and I'm like, okay, I want to secure this a little more. It's getting a little drafty. And everybody else's stuff staying put, so I went to go use the restroom. Halfway up there, I hear, woof. This thing picked up. It hit the top of the truck
Oh, Jesus.
and over the top, and just started blowing away. I was like, son of a bitch. So
Yeah,
there's
much like
$40
this bounty
$40
castles.
down the drain. It didn't leave the beach. It went to the trash can.
So it completely broke and busted up?
You couldn't retract one of the legs because it was pinched, so I just broke it off.
It's Walmart. You should have paid the $4 for the extended warranty.
Needless to say, got a little bit of damage I'm going to repair and move on with my life.
So according to the photos you sent me, it picked up like a bouncy castle and landed right on the B pillar above your driver's side door.
It's the A pillar right at the top of the A pillar. It looks like it was on its way out when it tagged it. One of the legs tagged it. So it's got a little square indentation. And I was like, ugh. Oh, well.
That sucks.
It's small, though. It's going to be just a little bit of body filler.
For those of you watching on Facebook and or YouTube, how many of you guys wasted money on the Logan Paul Mayweather fight yesterday? And have you heard the new scuttlebutt, Gordon?
No, man, I've been watching the Avalanche and Golden Knights games. You want to talk about a good hockey series? You need to hop on that right now. I don't care who your teams are. It's fantastic. But
Well, the weird thing is so this is an expedition fight. It means nothing to nobody. It's just basically a money grab and gives people the opportunity to gamble because, well, we all used to frown on gambling, but now with the internet, it's widely accepted and people gamble on fucking everything. And so people are paying a ton of money for these fights. Basically, you'll see these two fight and then maybe an undercard fight and then maybe some musicians or some musical acts playing. It's not billed as a fight so much as an entertainment extravaganza. But people bet lots of money on these things, right? And there's probably people who bet, okay, Logan's going to go out in round 2 or maybe round 3 or McGregor by the long shot. Not McGregor, but Mayweather by the long shot may get knocked out at this point in time, right?
was this the one that ended up being a great big hug fest?
Well, here's what the new scuttlebutt is because a new video camera angle came out from somebody who was videotaping from the side. Knockout conspiracy emerges after suspicious Floyd Mayweather-Logan Paul video is released. And this is via New York Post. The Expedition boxing match between Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather on Sunday night has farce for many reasons. But a video clip from the fight suggests it may have gone a bit as far as being fixed. Within a few seconds left in one of the rounds, Paul lunged at Mayweather and missed, and the boxing champ countered with a swift punch to the side of the YouTuber's head. After it connected, Paul appears to go limp. Instead of letting him fall, Mayweather appears to hold him up off of the floor, preventing a knockdown and or perhaps a knockout. The round ended shortly thereafter, and Paul was able to stand upright for the rest of the fight, with the results of a no decision. In the parentheses, though, since it was an expedition match, the only real way a victor was going to be declared was through a knockout. Quote, there is still one of the greatest moments in my life. Damn, I'm happy, Paul said after the fight. You never know with this guy. I'm going to go home thinking, yo, did Floyd let me survive? I saw the video clip, and he definitely knocks him out and catches him, which makes you wonder, did he have money riding on something? Why wouldn't he let him fall?
Smell shenanigans.
It was not possible to be. It was not possible to bet on the fight in the United States. Okay, due to it being an expedition match with no official decisions, but in the UK, or if you have a VPN app, you can connect to a UK site. Mayweather was a 700 favor, according to the Action Network. Those who took those odds may be upset with the video. So, even though it's an expedition and it was basically for entertainment, but if you were able to put some bets down through a VPN.
Exposition, you idiot.
Same difference.
Sorry.
What did I say?
Expedition, you've been saying it and I keep...
Expedition, car, fixed fight. It doesn't matter. I've been out in the sun for the last 3 hours, floating around catching bass.
Yeah. Did you catch bass?
I caught 2. Carrie caught one. Well, one of them didn't even count. It was so damn small. It could have been a bluegill. But yes, I caught 2. Carrie caught 1.
And all of you following along, Don's going to start his own big company called Plunkers.
Yep, there you go. Oh, we have a new commercial for you guys. We got a new sponsor.
Good evening. My name is Donovan 410, and I see the world in crisis. We have governments that are billions of dollars in debt. We have hyperinflation. We have protests. We have riots. We have infrastructure falling apart. We have cyber attacks almost daily on our world's needs. And that's why I want to talk to you about something important, and that is your family's future. When it comes time to protect your family, are you going to rely on worthless paper currency? Of course not. Instead, you're going to call the Digital 410 Reserve, and we're going to sell to you our super valuable silver and gold in exchange for that worthless paper currency. So in the future, when the civilization's falling down and people are struggling to survive, do you think they're going to want to exchange goods and services for your worthless paper currency? Or do you want to have the security of silver and gold? That's right. You want silver and gold. So give us a call right now, and we will happily sell you our valuable silver and gold in exchange for your worthless paper currency. Do it now.
There's no time to delay. Call the Digital 410 Reserve right now at 239-299-3896. We will happily exchange our valuable silver and gold for your worthless currency based on market price minus 10%.
So let me get this correct.
Yep.
You're willing to give me, sell me your very valuable silver and gold
Absolutely.
for paper that is deemed to be on the verge of worthless.
Absolutely, because we care here at the 410 Reserve. Am I not the only one who thinks that when you see all these gold and silver commercials on TV? It's like if you are sitting on all this valuable silver and gold, and you're convinced, or you're trying to convince your demographic that paper currency is going to go to shit due to inflation and civilized meltdown, then why are you so anxious to get rid of all your valuable gold in exchange for my worthless paper currency? I don't know. The cynic in me, I've been thinking that for years, and so I finally made our own version of the commercial because, I don't know, it's one of those things that always drives me nuts. We need your worthless paper and gold.
How about this kind of shit? I guess something good that may have come out of this current administration is like the Colonial Pipeline scam, and they got most of their money back. They were able to launch for the first time ever. Basically, they got the cryptocurrency. They never got delivered.
Oh, yeah. Yep, the white hat people took
I think it's the first time they've actually pulled this off. Now, my question is, why haven't we done this before?
Because I don't think we did it. I think another group did it.
Well, so call them contractors.
Well, it didn't deter them enough to prevent them from hacking the meat processing company. You heard about that, right?
Yeah, I did not know if that was the same group or not.
It probably was. It's definitely out of Russian. I wish he would. I wish he would just make a martyr out of those guys, and just put a few of them in a gulag. Maybe just put a bullet in a few of them heads. I mean, obviously
him being Putin.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's getting his beak wet too, but he's not above, jailing a few people. He
gotta set an example.
Yep. A cyber attack on JBS-SA, the largest meat production globally. The meat producer globally, forced on shutdowns all over the United States. Beef plants wiping out output from facilities that supply most of the quarter of American supply. All the company's beef fed and regional beef plants were forced to shutter, and all the JBS meatpacking facilities in the country experienced some level of disruption to operations, according to an official with the United Food and Commercial. Okay, here's a thought, maybe just a weird one.
Yeah.
When you're producing, tearing apart, packaging, obviously these their facilities and their production lines are ran by machines. These machines are ran by computers. Not only are they separating them, they're packaging and all that. With the exception of needing to roll out an update and or maybe check on some inventory, some production numbers, is there a real reason why your production plant needs to be online?
Seems like it should be at least air gapped.
Yeah. Have it offline.
Probably will be now.
Yeah. And the other odd thing is, isn't it weird that the companies that are being attacked are basically the ones that would be kind of offset if the Green New Deal went through? They're going after gas. They're going after beef. We know how the environmental Nazis feel that the cows are destroying the planet, how oil is destroying the planet. So what's next? Who do we think they're going to go after next?
I don't think it'll be big solar. I don't think it'll be...
No, because why would they go after big
energy.
solar? Because solar is energy. Now,
that would surprise me if it is. That would throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. But who knows? I mean, it's getting insane. It's almost like with the last year, everything that's gone on, and now all the supervillains and wannabe Dr. Evils are coming out of the fucking woodwork.
Mm-hmm. And you had the quote-unquote plane hijacker, Friday? You heard about that, right?
I was going to tell a horrible joke. Plane, did he, not dress up at all?
Did you hear about that?
No, I did not. I've been pretty much away from the news this last week.
3 days ago, video shows a man who allegedly tried to hijack a Delta flight being restrained and zip tied. By the way, all flight crew now have super huge, like, riot grade zip ties. Let's see. Delta flight being restrained, zip tied by passengers and flight attendant. Now, this flight attendant was probably about 6'5" and 230. He's a big fella. But anyhow, a passenger attempted to breach the cockpit of Delta Airlines flight from Los Angeles to Nashville on Friday, according to CNN. See, you guys say we're only one-sided over here. The plane had
How
to
surprised do you think that the potential hijacker was when he got on? He's got his plan probably. He sits down and he sees this big motherfucking flight attendant. How much was he thinking? Son of a bitch, why'd I get on this flight?
I don't know if it was planned or if it was a mental break. Let's see if it says in the story. The plane had to make an emergency landing in Albuquerque. I wonder if they hung a left there. For you bugs
No,
Bunny.
they landed there. They couldn't have hung left.
Well, they may have been
If they
passing
went
by
past
and then
Albuquerque,
had to hang
they
a
hit the
left. Hang a left at
Maybe
Albuquerque.
They hung a left on final. I don't know.
After the man began banging on the door of the pilot's cabin. The cockpit was not breached, the media outlet said. The man was taken into federal custody. The video from the incident, yada, 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 and that's all they have. But basically, the big-ass flight attendant took him to the ground, and like two other guys held him down, and then somebody produced these huge-ass zip ties, and they got to the point where they even took off his shoes and socks to put him in the zip ties, and they basically drug his ass to the front of the plane, or back of the plane, and sat on him.
Every plane needs a BAFA. Big ass flight attendant.
Yeah. Big-ass
Need a
flight
BAFA.
attendant.
Get the BAFA. Make sure you got a BAFA on board.
Absolutely. Apparently, we don't have, sky marshals anymore. But to your thing, I don't know if this was. They haven't come out with a follow-up. I don't know if this was a preconceived actual terroristic threat, or if this was just somebody had a mental snap saying, "Oh God, I got to get this plane on the ground quick." I don't know. With COVID and people being locked up, people are just going off the fucking rails. There was a video coming out of New York where guy's just sitting on a subway and sits behind a lady he doesn't know, an older African-American lady with poofy hair, and just proceeds to light her fucking hair on fire with a lighter. What is wrong with people?
That's why I almost go with Joe Rogan's theory that these last few years, especially these unidentified flying objects, somebody knows that we're fucking up right now, and they're watching us, making sure we don't go stupid.
I'm sorry, New York. That was San Francisco. I thought that was in New York. Moments teenager lights a woman's hair on fire in San Francisco bus as cops are asking help to identify. San Francisco police
that
are...
dreadlocks she lit on fire.
No, it wasn't dreadlocks. Actually, more like a fro. Because, San Francisco police are hunting for a teenager who was filmed setting a woman's hair on fire on a city bus. Cops released a video of a shocking scene was captured on the Mooney bus. I don't know what the adjective for that is. Probably like Metropolitan Unified something. Surveillance camera on Wednesday, but then quickly came under fire themselves for blurring the teen's face for making him impossible to recognize. Exactly, I get it. He's a minor, but if you're going to put the video on TV to help for identification, you can't exactly blur the fucking guy's face out. Neither the victim nor the suspect has been identified as of Friday, and police have said both were wanted for questioning. The incidents occurred on May 2nd around 2:25 aboard the number 5 Fulton Street Mooney bus. The bus driver has called the police to report the incident, but by the time the officers arrived on the scene at the nearby McAllister and Leavenworth streets, both the victim and suspect had already left. Now, the victim has on a hospital-grade paper disposable mask. Imagine if her hair would have gotten that much ignition behind it that mask would have caught on fire too. In the video, the suspect can be seen holding the lighter in the back of the woman's head as she sits blissfully unaware in the seat next over. The suspect, along with 2 other persons of interest, left the bus together afterwards before fleeing eastbound on McAllister Street, according to the police. Other passengers came to the victim's assistance, but they left the scene as well before the police arrived. Authorities noticed the difficulty in finding the suspect when they don't know who the victim is. I don't know. Apparently she wasn't hurt that bad. But that's just scary that we have such a lack of compassion or lack
Empathy
of
and
empathy
sympathy.
and concern for our fellow human beings that, hey, you know, be funny.
We've gone full ape throwing shit at each other everywhere.
Yep. We went from random knocking out people, which can kill them if their heads hit the concrete, to just lighting random people's hair on fire on the buses.
There's a call to
gross.
action against Big Lighter.
Yeah, right. It's Big's fault. If they didn't sell lighters, that lady wouldn't have had her hair caught on
It
fire.
was an assault lighter. You could give more than one flame with it.
So to rewind to my story earlier real quick, just because we skipped over it, I did go to Walmart tonight and acquire another fishing pole and reel. This one I had to build. I got a Berkeley rod and a they didn't have any of the Ozark Trail. I always want to call it the Oregon Trail. They didn't have any more of the Ozark Trail rod, so I bought a Quantum something or other. But
You died of dysentery.
yeah, right. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Got Bebop a life jacket.
I got Ollie a life jacket. He had a life jacket on
Oh,
when we went.
so last week or so, because you weren't here last week, I took Bebop down to the vet, not because she was sick, but because this vet has a Bebop of her own named Summer, a short little Boston Terrier, and well, Bebop has never met a Boston Terrier of her own, so I took her down there to meet.
So you have a Bebop you call Bebop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We got a Boston Terrier that we call Bebop.
But you call all Boston Terriers.
We call all Boston Terriers Bebop, and we refer to feeding Bebop as giving 2 scoops.
Man, you're all getting close to sounding like a family from
Well, it gets funnier than that. So, okay, we got Boston Terrier. We call Bebop.
those little green
Anytime
guys
we-
on Fraggle Rock.
Yep, dozers. Anytime we see a Boston Terrier, we're like, "Oh, it's a Bebop." So we refer to Boston Terriers as Bebops, and we have a reminder on Alexa at 5:30. It says, "This is a reminder: give 2 scoops to the Bebop." Actually, Alexa says, "Give 2 scoops to the Beatbox." But exactly, and so Carrie gives Bebop 2 scoops of dry food at 5:30 in the morning, and we give her 2 scoops of dry food at 5:30 p.m. But when I took the Bebop down to the veterinarian, actually I was there doing their maintenance, and they were preparing to open their lobby for the first time since COVID started. So her and her husband were painting the rooms and painting the walls and getting it prettied up before opening on Monday, and I was there doing the maintenance. And the doctor said to her husband, "Hey, Don has a pea pod."
Shit.
I said, "Wait, what? Hold on, what?" She said, "Yeah, we." I said, "Do you call?" She's like, "Yeah, we call all Boston Terriers pea pods." I said, "That's funny. We call all Boston Terriers Bebops." I said, "I thought we were the only ones that referred to all Boston Terriers as Bebops." She's like, "No, we call them pea pods." I said, "That's funny because I was at Publix yesterday and I went to buy dog food and the lady at Publix said, 'What kind of dog do you have?' And I said, 'A Bebop.' That wouldn't mean anything to you. I got a Boston Terrier."
She's a Bebop dog.
So they call them pea pots. We call them Bebops. And so when I was done, I said, "Well, you guys going to be here a while?" They're like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, if you don't mind, I want to go get Bebop and bring her down here so she can meet Summer because she's never seen a Boston Terrier." And so I go and get Bebop and I bring her down there. And the doctor has her pea pot named Summer and has a gray a gray lab named Gordon and another dog. Now, Bailey has only interacted with pit bulls since we've had her, and so she likes larger dogs. And so when I took her to meet Summer, she could give 2 shits about Summer. She wanted to play with the bigger dogs. Summer got out. Now, Summer has a toy. Hold on. So this is a Kong ball.
Bebop, a Lubop, a Wop Sham.
This is a Kong ball. You put dog treats in here, and when it rolls, they fall out here. Now, the doctor gave Bebop this ball because Summer was playing with one. And when Bailey went to play with the other dogs and Summer got out of the office, Summer ran into the room to the Tupperware bowl that is full of these. Even though she already had one, she loves balls so damn much that she needs a, what do they call that when you're addicted to drugs and have your family come sit down and talk to you? Intervention. Summer needs an intervention about balls. So every time she gets to the office, she runs to the bin that is full of these. And so anyhow, I gave Bailey one. But the doctor saw Bailey for the first time, which is why I bring all this up. and says, "Your dog is rectangle." I said, "Pardon me?" She said, "Your dog needs to lose about a pound."
Oh, you can't see the down here near the belly.
She said,
getting
"Look
the
at
fit.
Summer. You can see her hips. She looks like a greyhound back by the back legs. Your dog is rectangle. She could use to lose about a pound." And I said, "Well, that's weird because we only give her..."
You fat shamed your Bebop.
Yep. She fat shamed my Bebop, which is weird because, well, I only give her 4 scoops a day. She gets 2 scoops at 5:30 in the morning and 2 scoops at 5:30 at night, and occasionally eats bird food off the floor.
Hold on, I'm going to stop you right there. This could be going the same way it went with my cat about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Don't use so much dry food. Get more wet food involved because dry food's full of carbs.
Well, actually, our dry food is protein, carb free, so it's all protein.
Perfect.
But so we're thinking, well, shit, maybe we need to cut her down to 1 scoop twice a day, but we haven't. And so
She's still rectangle,
she's still rectangle.
but she hasn't gone oval.
No,
Okay.
but she needs to lose a pound, according to the vet. So today, Sariana had a doctor's Zoom meeting at 10 a.m., and so she missed the first hour of school. And after the doctor's Zoom meeting, I said, well, let's go. And she walks in the kitchen and proceeds to give Bebop 2 scoops. I said, what are you doing? Feeding Bebop, giving her 2 scoops.
You had a family meeting on this, right?
No. I said, have you been doing this since we've had Bebop? Mm-hmm. Ever since I went back to school, I give her 2 scoops in the morning. Are you aware that we
Wants
feed
that
Bebop
extra
at
meal.
5:30 in the morning? Nope. I said, well, now I know why my dog's rectangled, because she's getting fed 2 breakfasts. She gets fed 2 scoops at 5:30, 2 scoops at 9:30, then 2 more scoops at 5:30 p.m.
Breakfast and post breakfast.
So now we know why Bebop's rectangle, because she gets 2 breakfasts, unbeknownst to Carrie and I, because Nugget apparently has been giving her 2 scoops before she leaves for school every day.
Have you been looking at Bebop and say, you're rectangle?
Yep. So I said, well,
Get her out on that kayak.
that's why we bought a life jacket, but we've been so busy fishing that tomorrow we might intentionally not take the poles so that we can take Bebop out there. But I said, well, you've been doing this for the last, since school started. We don't want to just cut her off. So I said, give her 1 scoop and we'll phase her down. And so I told my vet about that. And she said, well, it'll be interesting to see what she looks like in 30 days.
Sounds like a very honest vet.
Yep. She is a very honest vet. She actually has an old school poster in her office that had something to do with,
Bebops.
no, it had something to do with, it's very old school, and it's hidden in a room because this is the type of poster that would get a veterinarian in trouble nowadays. But it basically comes down to saying we wouldn't be advanced as we are when it comes to medical technology and medication if it wasn't for animal testing.
Well, unfortunately, it's a sad
And that's
truth,
coming
but
from a
it is.
veterinarian. But yeah.
Yeah.
But the mystery of the rectangle Bebop has been solved due to multi-feedings. Fort Wayne and Punta
Bonus
Gorda.
meal.
Thank God I only go between Fort... What are you talking about?
Oh, that's a while ago.
No.
That's back with the hair on fire story.
Oh, okay. Yep. Good job. Good job. I got a freaking screaming headache. You ready to do news? We'll just make this a short episode today. Oh, real quick. I did go out to the Laughing Comedy Cafe for the filming of the LMAO Roku
You made
Network show. Yeah, because, well, I was going to lie to Larry and tell him I had a family emergency, but after we got out to the fishing hole and I lost my pole in the goddamn Davy Jones locker, I got back and had time to
Shit
shower and
sorted
go to the
itself
camp.
out, didn't it?
Yeah, so,
Sorted itself out.
so due to the fact that I lost my fishing pole, I couldn't fish
Pre-karma for you.
and went back. But anyhow, so I went over to the Laughing Comedy Cafe because there was a Roku comedy station called LMAO, for Laugh My Ass Off for the uninitiated, where they stream stand-up comedy on Roku TVs, and they were filming, and so they had the host, then Larry opened, then they had 3 other comics, and then Jamie closed. It was pretty interesting to watch. 1 camera shoot, but it was kind of cool to watch, and it was good to see Larry working on some new material and bringing out some of his older material. I always love going to live shows, especially nowadays, to see how some of the snowflakes respond to some of the older school style
Some,
jokes.
they get in some heavier booze.
Yeah, they're not too big on the perverted uncle jokes and stuff like that, but you know, it's always funny to see the younger kids kind of jiggling discomfort because of hearing music. Hey, look, there's Oliver on my Facebook page. But yeah, so just been doing a lot of kayaking, getting some fishing videos up. Oh, question for you.
Answer.
I'm thinking about pulling that old bicycle you gave me out of the attic.
AKHS, yes, the chromoly.
Because it has rock shots on the front, right?
It had some airs.
So I need to measure those bad boys and see if they're the same height as the off-brand front shocks on my Walmart Schwinn, and I might try to swap them out.
Make it different. That's a 26-inch wheel standard. I don't know what size wheel you have. If you got a 27.5 or 29, that's going to not make that work.
Yeah. Well, I was going to measure it
At
before I
26s.
dismantled them, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been mountain biking since they started with the 2 additional wheel sizes.
Oh, there's a guy I've been watching on YouTube. He's an English cat. He's a professional rider. And something Pilgrim, anyhow. He goes to Walmart and he'll buy like he went and bought like $138 mountain bike and took it to Whistler and rode it down the hardcore mountain bike trails and jumping it and everything else, and the damn thing held up. He was completely shocked.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind going to the Red Bull Rampage up there in Utah. You've probably seen that footage before. That's insane.
Then yesterday I was watching one. For some reason, he took his bike and he filled the inner tubes up with water to see how they'd handle when you're jumping them and how much heavier it'd make them. And then he has these cool collapsible like kicker ramps that you put together like freaking Lincoln Logs almost. And he was jumping the shit out of this thing, and he was trying to land on a plank full of nails, thinking the inner tube would blow up. Basically, once the water left the inner tube, it would almost reseal itself until the water pressure got so tight inside the tire that it started leaking out around the stem. But it actually took like 7 punctures before the water actually started coming out. It was almost like self-sealing, but it made the bike so damn heavy. Oh, speaking of YouTube, I put up a fishing video last week, and I got copyright dinged.
Why?
Because apparently the people who put songs out on the public domain, no copyright, on the that channel where we get our non-copywritten songs.
Yeah, the ones you still got to give them credit in the body of your deal.
Well, apparently at some point they get sold,
Oh,
which one could make the argument that if it used to be on that channel, you wouldn't mute my shit. But apparently one of the songs I had to delete off my computer is no longer copywritten. I mean, no longer public domain. And so one of my videos, which don't matter because we still don't have enough followers to be monetized yet, but it does get annoying when you get dinged for a copyright violation.
and there's shades of the copyright law too.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what you're doing, is there any money being generated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Especially, though, with a song that you got off of their copyright-free page, and then all of a sudden now it's copywritten. But anyhow, we threatened you guys with the news, and now it's that time. Here we go.
This concludes the
Whoop.
evening news.
And
now
that
back
wraps
to
up this
Acton
evening
TV
news. Thank you,
Studio
Gordon.
in Cape Coral, Florida.
Thank you.
Joining us now from the Digital 410 West News Desk in Las Vegas, Nevada, Gordon Abernathy.
Gordon, how you doing tonight, fella?
Doing all right. We're going to start off with a sad one. A couple of weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, there was a little boy found dead down the road from
Jesus.
us at a trailhead. They called him Little John Little Zion Doe. He was kind of a chunky-looking kid. First, I was actually thinking, is this going to be now something we're going to see with these unaccompanied kids coming over the border?
That'd be a
And then
long
looked at
walk,
him.
though.
Well, they get to a certain point somewhere, right, where something goes afoul with whoever they're traveling with, into the coyote or is there sex trafficking? But I was looking, I was like, he's too heavy to be coming that direction because he's clearly not starving. But they have finally identified the kid as a 7-year-old Liam Husted, who is a missing child from San Jose, California. The little boy's body was found by hikers near Mountain Springs Trailhead, not far from Las Vegas, on May 28th. Husted and his mother, a 35-year-old, and I'm putting her on blast, Samantha Monroe Rodriguez, apparently left San Jose May 24th and were last seen at Laguna Beach May 26th. So she went south and then, to Laguna, which is quite a drive. Later that day, the vehicle, which was a dark blue 2007 Dodge Caliber, pile of shit car, was seen in the Victorville area. So after that, he was spotted in Grand Junction, Colorado. So basically, on May 31st, his mother checked into a hotel room in Denver. They believe this lady had dropped, something happened. They're looking for her. She's clearly on the run.
The kid
Her
was
kid has been
found in
found.
Vegas. She drove 6 hours to a beach in California.
Yep, she went to the beach in California,
And
up
then
towards
pulled a
Victorville to
Yui.
Vegas, and then the Colorado.
Pulled a Yui and then drove like 3 days to Colorado.
Yeah, so she is being looked for.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah, so on May 29th, it was spotted near Grand Junction, Colorado. License plate number 6WLH211. It is a 2007 Dodge Caliber Blue. Please, keep a lookout for this because this is the piece of shit of the year right now. If she had something to do with what's going on, and the warrant has been issued. But moving off of that sad news, your worries about algae may have some truth to it.
So I don't want to get too personal on the old What's in Your Head podcast, but I've been spending a lot of time in the canals on a kayak, and I got the creepy crud. I think it may have been for red tide. Let me just say, on the inside of my left leg, I got a weird red breakout. I've been putting like anti-fungal cream on it, and it's clean. It's almost dried up, but I have gotten some creepy crud. I think maybe it was from pulling the anchor up and having all that shit on it, and then it's sitting on my leg. When I first started going on the kayak, I would wear just like regular pants. Now I wear like swim trunks that are, that material's kind of semi, doesn't hold water, quick dry. But yeah, I actually got a patch of creepy crud on the inside of my left leg that took me about a week to get rid of using antifungal cream. So yes, be very careful in the canals and waterways of Cape Coral. I don't know if it's red tide or something else, but I definitely got the creepy crud from it.
Well, near Franklin Lock, there's been some dead fish and crabs surfacing, and they actually think it's about the algae treatment that's being done out there. So if the treatment's going on, it may be on its way. And I know it's a yearly deal there, right?
Oh, it's horrible. Some years it's not so bad, but some years it's so bad that the Fort Myers beach is just full of dead fish. But
and they're going to build a Margaritaville hotel down there.
Well, I think it hasn't seen much production done on it. I think he may have pulled up ship on that because that property's been fenced off since I worked at K-Rock, and that's been close to 4 years now. So they haven't broke so much as put a fucking slab down. So I think that may be on hold.
Speaking from going from an area that's got lots of waters and canal to the southwest, where we have nothing but sore voices and no rain. Drought-stricken Nevada has enacted a ban on non-functional grass. This was a legislative action that came in that our illustrious Governor Steve Sisolak, and I don't disagree with this, has signed into legislation making the state the first in the United States to ban certain types of grass. The measure signed last Friday will ban water users in southern Nevada from planting decorative grass so that they can conserve water. The grass ban starts in 2027, so we got a couple of years to go, and applies to office parks, entrances to housing developments, and street medians. But it does not apply to homes and parks. Water officials say the ban will eliminate 40% of grass in the region. And the ban welcomes the western state to rely on the Colorado River, which we know is crazy low right now. It's triggering some things. So basically, if it's grass, it's there for decorative reasons only. No moss. It's got to be desert landscaping. Your grasses can stay in your parks and your athletic fields and your homes and that. But if it's just there to look good, it's gone.
I thought you guys primarily used the fake grass out there anyhow.
There's still some older places out here that have that, like our apartment complex that we used to own a condo in. It was full bore watering. It was old grass, and these things would blow up. These irrigation lines would blow, and just thousands of gallons just going down the road. I fucking hated it. And one last story. There is a puppy thief at loose in Fort Myers, Florida.
Oh, of course there is, because why not?
So a 9-week-old Shih Tzu was stolen from a Fort Myers pet store. Police want your help in identifying the suspect. According to Fort Myers police, the dog was stolen Saturday from Pet Kingdom.
And I was going to say, if I know my Fort Myers pet store, looking at that shot you sent me, that looks like Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, it's Pet Kingdom on 4650 South Cleveland Avenue. They say the suspect walked into the store about 5:07, took a puppy out of its pen, hid it under its shirt, like been caught stealing.
How did that
style,
guy have
and
room
walked
under his
out.
shirt? Because I'm looking at his shirt now, and it looks like he's already got freaking 2 30-pound turkeys under there. He's wearing a tight-ass shirt.
Well, now he's got a tool shed, so he's got a little roof line, where the shirt comes over. Been caught stealing style,
Yeah, once when I was 5.
That's his skirt.
The irony is Animal Kingdom or Pet Kingdom, whatever kingdom, about 6 years ago, they tore down all their divider walls to make their whole location open so that they had full view to prevent people from stealing puppies. And this place has a lot of exotic animals. And I would say probably 30% of their foot traffic are just looky-loos and people going there to play with animals. It got to the point where for like 3 months, they decided they were going to charge people a cover charge to get in there. They're going to charge people $5 just to walk through the door. But
zoo.
But that ended quickly. So it sucks that someone's stealing a dog. It's probably a $5,000 dog looking at it. But yeah, it's just
They're
people
offering
suck.
$3,000 reward. The male suspect is described having a large build, tattoos on his arms. That's it. I think he's a cracker.
Yeah, he's a cracker. Probably
he's last-
weighs 260.
He is last seen wearing a blue hat and a green T-shirt. The suspect is
That's a
possibly
Florida Gator
driving
hat right there, chomp
a white
chomp.
sedan with a paper tag on it. And speaking of paper tags, you still see out here our fucking DMV is so backed up.
How backed
Yeah,
up are they?
We got people rolling around with paper tags from this time last year and earlier.
No, our DMVs aren't that backed up because Carrie accidentally realized that she had gone a year and a half without renewing her tags, and I was able to walk in there the very next day. See, the one good thing about our DMV is they are smart-ish, because they actually have a separate line for tag renewals. And
The
so,
problem is so many people are moving in.
yeah, and so if you're not renewing your tag or doing a license renewal that doesn't require a new photo, no, license renewals require a new photo. But yeah, if you're just renewing your tags or buying tags that doesn't require a photograph or a bunch of other crap, they just put you in a different line, so you're really not sitting there very long at all.
Oh, wait, I'm going to throw one last story in here. German military is going to ship surplus beer back from Afghanistan. Because, Germans ain't going to let beer go to waste.
Nope. What kind of beer is it?
All right, well, let me get into the
Lowenbrau?
story. The German military says it has found a solution for an unusual logistics problem its troops in Afghanistan are facing. They got too much beer.
Sounds to me like they're not allowing the soldiers to consume as much beer as they would like. Therefore, there's a leftover amount.
Defense Ministry spokeswoman Christina Rosti said Monday that a recent decision by the German commander in Afghanistan to ban consumption of alcohol
Okay.
for security reasons has resulted in a pileup of beer, wine, and mixed drinks at Camp Marmal in Mazar-e Sharif. German soldiers are usually entitled to 2 cans of beer or equivalent per day. That's mighty generous. Germans. Rusty said military had found a civilian contractor who would take the alcohol back out of the country ahead of the German troops withdrawing from Afghanistan as NATO mission in the country ends in the coming months. So they're saying there's approximately 22,600 liters, or about 6,000 gallons of alcohol, including almost 60,000 cans of beer that can't be sold in Afghanistan due to local religious restrictions or destroyed for environmental reasons.
Sucks.
Yeah.
This concludes the evening news, and now back to the ACT Computer Studio in Cape Coral, Florida.
This episode of the What's in Your Head podcast is brought to you by our friends at Act Computers. Act Computers has been providing IT solutions for all Southwest Florida since 2004 and all over the world since then. So if you have a problem, or even if you don't live in Southwest Florida, give them a call at 239-283-1120 or go to act-capecoral.com or find Act Computers on Facebook, and they can log in your computer remotely with assistance from you, of course, from their website. And if you do live here in Southwest Florida and you need repairs with your laptop screens, laptop repair, desktop repair, network expansions, video camera installation, You name it, they can do it. Give them a call at 239-283-1120. And as promised, here is the shit and pineapple commercial from earlier.
If there's pain when you try to poo, when going sometimes feels like you push through a pineapple or two, Colace is the brand you need to soften stools, we're all agreed. Number 2 should be easy to do.
Trust Colace to
Number 2.
I think that popping noise is in the wrong register.
Yeah.
It needs to be much lower and deeper.
That's going to wrap it up for this episode of the What's in Your Head podcast. For Gordon, I know you're not on TikTok anymore. Are you still on Instagram? I know your dog has an Instagram page. Where can people follow your dog at on Instagram?
GD Aegis 1974 on Instagram and Abernathy Gordon on Facebook.
Thank you guys so much. That's going to wrap it up for this episode, and we will talk to you all next week.